sin was an attempt to stop people doing silly things, but that's all it was. It's like law. I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, but we were having a conversation about the law. Once upon a time, human beings were wise and there was no need for law. People started to deviate into destructive behaviors, and so laws were introduced to govern them. And so today we think, well, we forget that principle. It's possible to live beyond law, which is sin. The idea of sin, the concept of sin, was introduced because people started to become very destructive in their behavior. And so they were taught that if you continue doing this very destructive behavior, it's going to lead you into a hell. And from there, of course, the teaching evolved and became so much more religious and fundamentalist and just insane. But the reality is that's karma in action. If you are a toxic person and you engage in toxic and destructive behavior, you are generating for yourself a hell in which you will go into. And I'm not talking about a place where you're going to be burned for eternity, but hell, as in a horrible place to be. So that's all that is. That's all sin is. Ultimately, that's all it is. It's vice, the opposite of virtue. Obviously, in the other side of the scale, on the other side of the scale, or however you want to say that, there is goodness and kindness and love and friendship and beauty and helpfulness. Righteousness, as in doing what's right, which basically means living in harmony with love and expressing that. And so, as a means to try to encourage people to be better, this method of control was introduced. Yeah, you create your own hell. You create your own hell. And you create your own heaven. And it is a hell to recognize one's own wrongdoings in life, in this path of self-mastery. We have to learn to see ourselves clearly, and that means there's a lot of darkness in here. There's a lot of potential for corruption and potential for destruction within my consciousness. I have to recognize this. Hey Gnarly, welcome back. And so when I first come to realize this about myself, it's a hell. I immerse myself in that hell, but I must acknowledge it and I must recognize that that is within me. And so because I can recognize that, from now on, I will be more equipped to stop myself from deviating in the same way. And so now I'm on my way to heaven, so to speak, I'm on my way to a great outcome because I've stopped falling into hell within myself. I've stopped generating horror and trauma within myself. So now the outcome is great. The outlook is great. There is a solid model for society, CJ. It's as yet unfounded, but some human beings have come along throughout history and tried to introduce it as an idea. But as is the case with these types of things, the way people receive it at the time is governed by the level of evolution of the consciousness. And so if it's a very devolved society, the message goes unheard. I'll ask you a question now, and this will hint at the model. Let's say that I'm the authority in this life, okay? Just bear with me for a second. Let's say that all of the resources of this environment are mine. I own them, okay? And you're here too. You're all here too. I want to take care of you because I love you, because I recognize our connection here. I recognize that we're in this life together. I recognize that we're sharing this experience and that we need each other to live and to cooperate. To cooperate would be best for everyone. And so with all of my resources, I sustain your life. I give myself to you and I give you all of my resources, and I wake up each day and I think about, do you need help? Does CJ need anything today? Does Gnarly need anything today? Does Vegan need anything today? I'm not going to make you pay for it. I already have everything I need. All of the resources of this land, I own them. I don't need any more. And so I give them all to you. That's the model. Now, there's no need for money there. There's no profit. There's no personal profit. You're not allowed to take my resources and hoard them for yourself, because they're everyone's. I'm giving them to everyone, all at once. We have enough for everyone. We have more than enough. If somebody comes who is hungry, they'll be fed. They need a home to live in, we will give them a home. I'm not going to make you pay for it. You need medical help, it will be given to you. We have doctors who wake up each day and they are so madly in love with this idea of living in service and healing people that they do it because they love it and they want to heal people. Same with teachers, same with farmers. That's the model. There's no profit. Obviously, we're not going to engage in any kind of behavior that's going to destroy our resources, because that's like poisoning your own food. That would be idiotic. This, by the way, what we're talking about here is the model of an enlightened society, a wise society, a truly awakened society. There's no more personal profit anymore. No one individual or group of individuals takes more than anyone else. Everyone is looking to serve and feed and help everyone else. That's the model. That's it. It's so simple. But that's what we call a love-based economy. It's so easy. Now the question is, the problem is, this current model of economy is the very opposite. The literal opposite. An individual is allowed to, and actually encouraged to, amass as many resources as possible and hoard them, and then sell them and make a profit from them. And so that breeds competition, and that breeds conflict, and that leads to war. And so human beings are trying to, they are destroying and fighting each other to own more things. So it's the very opposite model. The individual is served. I serve myself. That's the ultimate form of narcissism, which is the very essence of the ego. That's this economy that we live in. The heart of this economy is totally corrupt. Totally corrupt. It's beyond repair, and it needs to go. It's as simple as that. The opposite end of the spectrum is what I was just talking about, a love-based economy. I own everything, right? This country belongs to me. Come, live here. You need a house? We've got plenty of houses. You need food? There's plenty of land to grow food. There are farmers who love to farm. There are doctors who love to heal. There are teachers who love to teach. What's the problem? This is why when you follow this line of thinking to its end, it comes back to you and me. It comes back to this individual that you are. Turn your attention inward and correct this problem. Don't look to society to do it, because society can't. It's manufactured in a way that breeds narcissism. But if you conquer it within yourself, you bring an end to that bloodline. That's not a very good way to say it. If you truly conquer this within yourself and overcome it within yourself, the people that you raise will not be narcissists. Your new society that you must establish, which is you, cannot spread narcissism. It's ended. And so this is something to be aware of if you're trying to live in the this is why so many of us have so many problems with modern society. If you're trying to live a life of peace in the modern world, you need to know that this is what is happening. This is how it is operating. This is why you get so caught up and so tripped up and so screwed up when you try to be a part of it, because it's taking us in the wrong direction. It's taking us deeper and deeper into hell. That can spread. Yes, exactly. That can spread. At that point, you're spreading love. You are going into your own heart, connecting with your own heart, overcoming your own ego, and then that spreads. So it's the opposite effect, you know? You're like a light in the darkness, spreading light everywhere you go.